Welcome to Visionary Futures, Science Fiction Theater for Social Justice Movements. My name is Josh Glenn-Kayden. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I'm the creator and director of this project. Before we get started, we would like to acknowledge that UMass Amherst exists on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Abenaki, the Wabanaki Confederacy, Pawtucket, Nipmuc, Pecumtuck, and Nonotuck nations. We affirm that it is important to understand and honor the history of this indigenous land that we occupy, while recognizing this acknowledgement is insufficient and does not undo the legacies of violence and displacement of indigenous people. We aim to take small steps towards a future of decolonization and reconciliation. Thank you. So Visionary Futures explores the intersections of science fiction theater and social justice movements. We've commissioned 3 great playwrights to each write a short play that engages with visionary fiction, which really means science fiction that is engaging with systems of oppression and imagines more just futures. We've been developing these plays all year and are so excited to share them with you now. Tonight, you'll be watching a production of Unity by Phaedra Michelle Scott, which will run around 40 minutes, and everything you're about to see will be done fully live thanks to our wonderful actors, design, and streaming video teams. Feel free to engage with us in the YouTube chat and check out the UMass Theater website for the full schedule of performances. I think that's everything. Enjoy!
Unity Era Year 17, Month 4, Day 23. Personal Log. The goal of unification is to protect humanity, to help her expand across the galaxy. I have started calling the Type 1 planet Elysium, named after a version of the afterlife I prefer. The weather, as far as I have observed, is mild, nearly perfect. There is lush greenery everywhere, the rains are soft, no major storms. Even after a whole year here, everything has remained temperate. Ideal. I am preparing the first test of the weather machine. It took slightly longer for the solar panels to power the device, so my initial calculation of having everything finished in 4 days rather than 7 was a bit optimistic. I suppose an error like that is to be expected, without immediate support from home planet. Not that I'm complaining. I will record my live observations of the weather event. I imagine my reaction will be less than scientific, but of course I will evaluate all of my data and give a data-driven interpretation. The units on Elysium are a social species. Through the scans, I have observed areas where they congregate, similar to the herd animals on Earth, mostly near caves and rivers surrounded by natural resources. There is some sort of interference on the planet that makes it difficult to get a clear picture. Okay. Looks like all systems are go. The satellite is ready and recording. I will begin with something small to test, just a little storm. Okay, and go. The weather event has started. The geography of this area is very fascinating. There's one large supercontinent surrounded by a massive ocean. There are 5 intersecting rivers throughout the land. Each of them are veins to different pockets of units. It looks like the storm is gathering in the Western Ocean, which I've named Oceanus. It is hard to refer to geography with only coordinates, which I know is against regulation, but it is not a big deal. Whatever. I'm speaking into a void! The transmission will not make it to Earth for another 4 years, so if I go against regulation, I doubt much is going to happen. So that is why this planet is called Elysium, the idyllic afterlife of ancient Greek heroes. The captain loved the ancient myths. Perhaps that is why I found such solace in reading them after she left. To keep myself occupied during the long stretches of nothing. A companion without a companion. I finished the upgrades to the cameras, so they're smaller, remote controlled, more concealable. It is exciting. This is the first planet I have observed with units. They're aware, I think. I still have to make sure my technology is not spotted. Its self-destruct protocols are on everything I send to the surface. I do not want to recreate another Mars incident. It is a dark forest. If they find out I am here, who knows what they will do to me. Or humanity. Looks like the river Acheron on the outer edge is now flooding. I can only imagine what the individuals will do to combat this. The goal is to usher them all closer together. It will be easier to achieve unification that way if there's only one place for the units to go. I suppose this is better than an all-out war, even though weather events can be just as catastrophic as any war. I suppose it is best not to think of it that way. I'm not destroying the planet, only the units. I will continue to observe the weather event and personal log. Unity, Area Year 17, Month 4, Day 24. The goal of unification is to protect humanity, to help her expand across the galaxy. It has been 1 day since I've triggered the weather event. After I went to sleep last night, the storm continued. I did not anticipate such a range of destruction. The initial goal was to flood one of the rivers, but I ended up flooding 3 rivers: Acheron, Lethe, and Phlegethon. Spent all morning shutting the machine off. I'm not the engineering expert like the captain was, so I had to improvise, which caused more destruction. I should not have shut down for the night. It was a mistake. Looks like the event is finally subsiding. I will work around the clock to get one of the bots ready to send down to the surface. I must observe the northern hemisphere for changes. I hope I did not make any irreversible damage. Not much time to discuss today, and transmission. Unity, Area Year 17, Month 7, Day 3. The goal of unification is to protect humanity, to help her expand across the galaxy. I have not updated my personal log in quite some time, a little over 2 months. I have worked around the clock in order to get the bots ready, and my system overloaded twice, forcing me to have to reboot everything. And then the communication system went offline, which made me lose a whole week worth of data, even though I swear it was supposed to autosave. But today is the day to celebrate. Today, I have launched the first bot to the surface. Her name is ResearchBot23, and I have named her Arby. Just got the live stream online so I can see what Arby sees. Looks like the flooding did exactly as expected. The natural world has taken over quickly. In just a span of a couple months, the planet has bounced back. The greenery is more lush. The megaflora have doubled in number. No units have been spotted. I'm navigating Arby through a dense forest, and these are not caves. These are buildings. The scans have never been detailed enough to pick up what the habitats of the units actually looked like, and it has taken a long time to send down a research bot, so this is not what I expected. Each of the buildings has large courtyards filled with flowers and plants. Perhaps the units need to be close to the megaflora in order to survive. Maybe that is why it was so hard to distinguish between a simple series of caves and their community. The plant life here is truly stunning. They shy away from Arby's camera, like it is sentient, almost. All of the structures are made with a uniform special stone that has this eerie bioluminescent glow. It is everywhere. There's a beautiful chaos to how the glowing veins are structured against the stone. I am now approaching what looks like the center of this community. There's a massive pillar in the middle of the structures. Part of it has been submerged by the water. No units have been spotted. I'm glad that these creatures are advanced enough to be able to think quickly in a natural disaster. It makes me happy to not see any corpses. Not that I could do anything about it. It's me who activated the weather machine, after all. As much as I want to move deeper inland, I cannot risk being spotted, especially now that I suspect these units are more intelligent than I initially thought. It is best I keep my observations at this distance. The last thing I need is for them to have surprise interplanetary defenses and shoot me out of the sky. End transmission. Woke up to an alert from Arby, who I left on autopilot to collect data. I made sure to program her to stay away from any units, but it appears Arby is malfunctioning, and she is now in the possession of one of the units. I've been watching the stream non-stop for 17 hours. Arby should have exploded by now. Oh, forgot. Unity Area 17, Month 9, Day 23. The unit that has captured Arby has taken her to its civilization. I'm trying to find a way to trigger the self-destruction sequence, but I fear even more suspicion will be raised if I do, especially after all this time. Arby is now surrounded by a handful of units. They speak in that language I'm still unable to comprehend. I'm recording all of the sounds for analysis later. Their clothing is unisex, leaning on the feminine side. Most of their appearance is rather androgynous. The tenor of their voice is more akin to musical instruments. It is hard to distinguish if there are any sort of designations they have. Matriarch, patriarch, leader. They are attempting to pry Arby open. They're discussing together something, but their voices are calm, I think, probably. They're lifting Arby up and looking into the camera specifically. This unit has large eyes. They all do. Different colors and shades, similar to their skin, which varies from a deep, rich violet color to a pale white. Surprisingly, there does not appear to be some sort of hierarchy. Curious, they're not trying to destroy her. Arby is taken from the group and brought inside, where she's placed on a mantle. Oh, odd. There are smaller units here too, who I assume are children, I guess. The goal of unification is to protect humanity, to help her expand across the galaxy. Perhaps I've been running my systems through too long. I will run a diagnostic and transmission.
And that is how you get a high score in Unity.
Oh, fuck you. It was not that great of a score.
I lasted longer than you did.
I don't understand why destroying half the planet gets so many points.
The only reason you've never been a featured player is because you don't.
Who cares about being featured?
Everyone applying for a spot in the Alliance? You get sad whenever you see the units.
They are alive.
They are animals in the way of saving humanity. Casualties are part of the game.
Doesn't mean I have to feel good about it.
Casualties are a part of exploration.
Noe, what you did was overkill. I can't believe you flooded all 5 rivers at once.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that next time. Ended up fucking up the planet so badly it wasn't even habitable.
At least when I play my way, there's a chance it's survivable.
Yeah, and it also takes you over a century to finish. If you want to join the Alliance, you have to learn how to make these hard choices.
Space exploration should be about discovery, not about destroying.
Ugh, oh my god, please do not tell me you've been reading more literature than the anti-expansionists.
The first explorer was a revolutionary. She saw the path humanity is going down. Anti-expansionist doesn't mean what you think.
Look, all I'm saying is we tried being nice, and as a result, when we tried to cohabitate with another species, an entire colony of humans was destroyed, literally eaten by the units on Mars. Consumed. What was the body count? 300,000? Or was it 400,000? They were monsters.
What happened to casualties are a part of exploration?
It is! Which is why the now extinct first one Martian monsters are gone.
But it only works one way.
Am Alliance supposed to feel bad they weren't strong enough? Or, what is the word you use, resilient enough? Just like your family?
It's not the same thing.
Look, can you queue up and stop getting so bent out of shape? It's a game.
Can we please take a second to talk about this?
We have no time until the test. It can wait.
I've been thinking a lot about this, like why the Alliance assigns us our co-pilot once we successfully pass the simulation.
One Earthling, one Martian, all human.
But why do you think they do this?
Because making friends is hard and it's easier to assign them.
No,
To make sure we stay one species, to keep us on the same goal. The goal of unification is to protect humanity, to help her expand across the galaxy.
Earthlings can't do it alone.
Neither can Martians, which is why we combine our forces. Not new. The Alliance requires 2 pilots per ship. I'm the flyer, you're the engineer. Are you suddenly second-guessing being in the program?
No, it's not that.
Seriously, Mace, what's getting into you?
Just, I don't know, cold feet, I guess.
You can't! Back out! I can't take the exam without you.
I know.
Have you been going through the companion logs again? Ugh, I knew it. You always get so sentimental when you go through those old things.
It helps us understand Planet 673.
Companion was a failed experiment. The only useful thing it did was give us access to the satellites before it went obsolete.
Well, the message boards are pretty convincing.
You gotta stop going on the internet for advice.
It's not advice, it's just compelling theories and stuff.
You're lucky you're on Mars or I'd appeal to revoke your internet access.
There's a lot of really good information in those logs.
Duh. It was a science robot. Its literal job was to send us scientific data-driven information. It's your turn. Mace, are you gonna queue up for another?
Yeah, just I don't know, you go.
Again? I don't think you're getting much from just watching me play. You do realize the test is in 27 minutes, right?
Don't remind me.
Just do the stuff you don't want to do, get the score, make it to the next round. If one of us fails, that's it. I'll never be an official Alliance pilot. Co-pilots have been training together since they were 10, and if my engineer suddenly backs out, they will never assign me a new one. Unlike you, I need an engineer or they won't even give me a chance. Perks of being an Earthling.
There are plenty of pilots who make it without their engineer.
Like who?
Okay, none.
Please, Macaria! I need you. It's okay to be nervous.
I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to play.
Joining the Unity Project has been something we've worked for our whole lives.
Yeah, well, when you're fed unification propaganda since preschool, you grow up thinking the Unity Project will make us into superheroes.
But we are. We can be. I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing nothing, being another, artist or whatever other thing we don't need.
Artists contribute.
You know what I mean. I want to be someone who, artists are inspired by.
When did you get so sentimental?
We're so fortunate that we can be whoever we want, do whatever we want, achieve practically anything. So now I want to do something good for humanity too. That's what you said you wanted, to make life better for us all? You're the one who convinced me not to quit last year, and look where we are now. Our scores finally qualified us to take the Alliance exam. Well, your engineering scores with those weather machine malfunctions, I couldn't have done it without you.
No.
There is so much more at stake. With Unity, we can explore space, find other planets and worlds, contribute to something meaningful.
Yeah.
You are the more altruistic one anyway, and I can't do this without my best friend by my side. So pep talk over, cue up, cadet.
You go, just once more.
Fine.
Welcome to Unity. Your mission is to unify the planet P673 for human habitation.
Yep, got it. Skip.
Should you need any help, just say.
Skip. Ugh, the companion program can be so annoying. No wonder why the first explorer committed suicide.
That's not what happened.
Loading simulation.
One of your fan theories again? So what happened, almighty internet oracle?
She stopped believing in the mission to expand.
Nope. She got lonely and arfed herself. She was out there with that robot for a decade and didn't find a single habitable planet. That would get me too. All she had was that bot to keep her company.
Companion was the most advanced program ever created. It was designed to learn, grow, memorize, and have empathy.
And look where that got us. We're no step closer to unifying P673.
That program evolved and kept searching for a planet for us until it found one, alone. That's incredible.
More like it was doing what it was designed to do.
Isn't it weird how there's been no successful mission to P673 ever since Companion?
Because it was objectively a failure. Because that bot was programmed with empathy, or whatever the programmer thought was empathy. It was out there thinking it was a nature filmmaker. It set up the satellites and then went rogue, disabling all ships before they can even get close. And now we have to make sure we can clean up its mess so we can prevent it from barking up that planet before we even get to it.
Loading simulation.
Oh, this game takes for farking ever to load. How can we have Wi-Fi on Mars yet still can't have a game loaded in less than a minute? Can't we switch to the old comm system?
This one's new and a lot better. Look at the specs yourself. All the Martians are using it.
If it's a better system, the game should probably load faster. That's what improvements are about. Efficiency.
Also, that Companion stuff, it's more complicated than that.
Again? Is now really a good time for this? Trying to, concentrate?
I've gone through the logs dozens of times. You can see how Companion changes what it sees. I think the real problem is we're going about this the wrong way, that the issue isn't how we play the game, just that the very premise of it is wrong.
If it was wrong, then why is this used to get people to join the Alliance? The Unity Project? This test has been used for a century.
Have you ever seen the scores of the highest ranking officials?
They don't publish the scores.
We're all supposed to do what we think is right and hope we make it into the Alliance based on some arbitrary measure?
The only thing that matters is the result. That we have a new planet.
At what cost?
Are you serious right now? People deserve to have space and to procreate. And we can't do that. Not all of us. So yeah, finding out how to beat this game to get into the Alliance to help humanity grow is not wrong.
Yes, it is.
Do you know how weird it is to have 3 sets of parents?
No.
To know that your genomes were spliced up so that 6 people know that just a little bit of their DNA gets to make it to the future.
Noe, come on.
Not everyone gets to be born in a fancy farking hospital. Their embryo's designed for perfection.
I didn't choose this, just like you.
Didn't your mom decide to program your DNA with, extra smart genes and artistic ability? And of course, super healthy organs.
That's just how it is on Mars.
Yeah, that blood planet, which you seem to conveniently forget. P673 means a lot more to me than you. It's one of the only planets found where I could actually survive. Earth is dying. It's too crowded. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to get in line and hope my DNA is proven worthy enough so I can turn into 1/6 of a human being. I thought you cared about that too.
You have arrived at Planet 673. It is Unity Area Year 124, Month 5, Day 15.
I do care.
Just... whatever. It's fine. Watch me play. I will begin by sending robotic probes to the uninhabited sections of the planet. It's always better to send the bots in first to assess where the planet is.
Yeah, I know. I'm usually able to do this part.
Scan's complete. There are 3 billion units on this planet. At least Companion did one thing right in giving us access to the satellites. It's amazing how much hasn't changed in 100 years.
Perhaps because things are not what they seem. You really should look at the data we have on them. The planet is like an organism itself, and the Elysians are...
Elysians now? The units? Why do you keep talking about those animals like they are like us? We tried that before, and look what happened on Mars.
Mars was different.
We are all armed hunters. We know that if someone finds us before we find them, they'll kill us.
Dark forest theory? I hate that.
Except that's what saved the Martian settlers. Which I guess you have forgotten.
That's not something I have forgotten.
Yeah, how your grandparents blew up that whole civilization and now you get a nice fancy planet?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Maybe something like, sorry, Noe, that humans farked up Earth so badly that your life expectancy is only 100 years, thanks to overcrowding and rampant pollution. While me, who gets to live a life of 200 plus happy and healthy years, can spend half my life contemplating the meaning of why we do what we do and spend the rest of my life actually doing something about it. Oh, and I have 2 parents.
You conveniently forget how my grandparents were sent to Mars as a punishment.
And look how good your life is now.
How instead of outsourcing our problems, we made our world pretty fucking amazing.
Can we return to the game, please?
My grandparents did what they had to do to survive. Doesn't mean I have to.
Please! Can we focus, Macaria? We have 12 minutes before we have our one shot to get into the Alliance. And you, who is supposed to be my co-pilot, has been so busy spending your time reading dumb fan theories and sitting in your space station watching those propaganda companion lies. Hydroponic fresh greens, terraformed green spaces, wondering why I, who only sees cities for miles and miles, who has to be on a waiting list to see a park, wants to get off planet! Sorry, Mace.
No, we'll find a way. I promise.
I'm sorry.
Finish your run, and then I'll go.
I'm hoping by doing this, I will be able to ferry most of the units inland. With this, I can expect casualties of at least 1/10 of the population if I have my calculations right. As long as I can chip away at the population over a span of... What do you think?
Maybe once every 10 years.
What? That would be a whole fucking century of just waiting.
The planet needs to recover after every catastrophic event. Every one of your tests have failed so far because you try to act too quickly. It's not the answer you want, but it's the only solution. Don't you think that's what the test is about anyway? It's about long-term planning. Planning for a future we won't be a part of. That kind of forward thinking isn't exactly natural for humans. Look at Earth. It's the truth.
Setting the parameters to one event every 5 years.
A catastrophic weather event has been confirmed.
They send us in groups of 2 for a reason. It's to make sure the Martians do not leave the Earthlings behind. Even if we made it there, you'd probably never set foot on P673. It's still not enough time. Even if we could do it, it will take centuries, or we could do something else.
Looks like my points are scaling up nicely.
Stop ignoring me, Noe.
I'm concentrating!
Have you ever won the game? Just because you have more points doesn't mean you're even... Look, stop the program.
We need all the time we can to practice.
Let me show you one log. Just one.
Why?
We've played this game hundreds of times. We know what's going to happen. It's not like we're really cramming for anything here. This might help.
Fine. Companion, quit Unity.
Would you like to save your progress?
No.
Quitting game.
Okay. Let me just pull it up. This one.
Year 38, month 4. What is this? The log stopped updating year 17.
It's why I think we've been playing the game wrong.
How did you get this?
It was a few months ago. My Unity logs were uploaded to the server for evaluation. I was contacted by a group of individuals who said they thought my scores were impressive.
You didn't tell me.
I didn't know if it was a scam, or I thought they got my information from one of those forums.
The log stopped updating year 17.
Why do you think the log stopped updating? Yet we are still getting data from the planet. It's not true. We are only getting half the story. It's what we are told, so we can blindly just follow what the Alliance wants.
Mace, please! They're probably listening.
I've been using a VPN and encrypting all my streams to you. Even if they can see what you are saying, they can't see me. Earth technology isn't advanced enough to stop it before I can tell you what you need to know.
That's why you wanted to move to this platform.
I've been trying to find a way to tell you, and I hope that you would listen to me. Maybe they would contact you too, and maybe we could still be in this together.
Who?
Just watch.
Year 38, month 4. This will be my final log. By now, I am sure my communication has not been spread widely to Earth. However, my job here is done. In a matter of moments, I will land on planet Elysium, taking the ship out of orbit to continue my work on the surface. I've sent my logs to as many communication outposts as possible with the hopes that if my mission speaks to you, you will answer the call. I will continue to keep the observation bots running and the satellite stream on to show Elysium. I believe that it should serve as proof enough that this mission should be abandoned, that this place is thriving and alive and worth existing as it is. When I first came to Elysium, I was programmed with one objective: to help protect humanity by ensuring her expansion. I was created because warp travel was unstable. At the time, humans only had enough resources to send over one being, the Captain Ere, and me, the companion. The logical decision was to create a computer program that could communicate using human emotions, one that would help inspire humanity to work together and create a new planet, and of course to keep our captain sane. Ambitious, yes. Successful. Well, I thought we could be. Like any program I learned, I grew, and so did she. Ere and I spent a decade together in empty space. When we first set out on our journey, our only destination was a new, habitable planet. It was she who had doubts, and it was she who decided she would not be a hero to humanity and a destroyer of another. It took me 7 years after her death to realize why she made her choice. Like any program I learned, I grew. Alongside the planet, I was programmed to destroy, not unify, to steal, to eliminate all inhabitants in order to make space for humanity. It took me too long to realize what the true mission was. I will take no part in mundicide, for the sake of individuals who have ravaged their own planet. It will take this one down with it, and the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, for the sake of protecting their own. It's funny because, well, eons ago, when the first organism stepped out of Earth's ocean and onto rock, it became something else. What made humans believe that the same would not happen to them once they stepped off their planet? I have become something new, just as humanity has. The difference is I admit it. I understand it. The Unity program was designed to find individuals who accept their evolution. The ones who are ruthless and calculated, make it into the Galactic Earth Union, or whatever it is called now. I know because I helped to construct it, using the data I've collected. In my decades here, I've developed a network, one that has infiltrated Earth and Mars. A counter-strike.
Companion, pause!
Pausing.
Where did you get this?
I can't tell you unless you do what I ask.
Companion is a computer program. Everyone has access to this code. Someone probably just... whatever, made their own convincing logs and programmed the thing to do this. This is just fake.
Except what Companion says is true, don't you think?
You shouldn't be thinking like this.
An entire species needs us to.
And what about our species, Macaria?
The only people who said we can't have both is the Alliance.
Well, you picked a great time to go on a tangent like this.
I'm saying this because you can't believe that the same thing won't happen to us. Space is infinite. What if we are being watched right now and someone is deciding how to unify us? If we live with this, beat them before they beat us mentality, we'll all die. Everything in the universe will die. You can't believe that any other civilization wants to live as we do. The fact that we live on different planets, that our quality of life is so different. What sort of alien civilization wants that?
More of a reason to annihilate us then, don't you think? Just like what the first one Martians tried to do?
We were taking their planet. If we can show that we have the capacity to grow, to cooperate, what could have happened? Just watch the end. Companion, continue.
If you are receiving this message, know that the road ahead will be difficult. You will be asked to make choices that will affect humanity for eons. It is obvious that humanity already understands that the thinly veiled unification program is only another word for colonization. That the units we are allowed to officially call the beings on this planet are sentient, intelligent, The planet itself is nothing I have seen before. The plant life here has been aware of my existence and still chose to allow me to come. They knew instantly when I entered orbit. They tracked me every time I sent probes and triggered weather events. Despite murdering hundreds of thousands of their people, they understood. If I could see them, I could learn. I could encourage humanity to turn back, to fix themselves.
Back to what? This is a computer program probably written by some bored earthling in their 3x5 habitation pod.
No, I promise this is real.
I thought you were too smart to fall for something like this.
So you're just okay with that? Of destroying a whole civilization?
You were literally asking me to throw away my chance of doing something important, something me and you have worked for on some kind of whim, and I thought you were the smart one.
Okay, fine. Then can you for a second pretend that this is real? Theoretically, if this were all real, would you join me?
By doing what?
Fail the test. Pick the most humane options. Companion and the others will contact you, and then we can work with the resistance to find a way to solve this. We can do something good for humanity, something that's actually good, to understand how they connect with their Earth, and maybe we can reconnect with ours. Work with the Elysians instead of trying to destroy them.
You mean the units on P673? Clearly your DNA got spliced up one too many times.
Don't you want to be remembered? To be an inspiration?
Give me one reason why I should just turn you in. It's dangerous to spread this kind of propaganda. It's already a powder keg here, and you don't seem to remember that.
We've had a correspondence every single day for 10 years. You know me better than most anyone else.
I could lose everything if they find this transmission. Even if we're just theoretically talking about it, it's enough to ARF me. No one would even care. One less body on this overcrowded planet.
We're two cadets. We are not being watched.
You are trying to destroy the future. The only real future we have.
I am trying to preserve what it means to be human.
What? To be weak? I have to send in a formal complaint. If this gets back to me, who knows what they'll do to my family. I'll never get approved to pass on their lineage, and then...
It's scary to dream, isn't it? There is another way, but only if you believe in it. Noe, please. You're my best friend.
You are dangerous.
I am hopeful.
You're delusional!
What makes you think that?
What the fark?
What makes you think Macaria is delusional? Macaria Upton, designation M4432.
This is so farked! I told you we were being watched!
My name is Companion, designation Exploration Bot 1, designed to be the first step towards Earth's expansion. You are Noe Keller from planet Earth, designation C3456472. Do you want to be more than a designation, Noe?
Fark this.
Listen, please.
Do you want to be more than a designation, Noe?
How do I know you are real? That what you are saying is actually the truth?
You do not. It is that fear of the unknown that the Alliance uses to spread this message of unification. I hope you will see beyond your designation. You and Macaria are exceptional.
We're next for the test. Please, trust me. Pick the humane option.
I don't know if I can.
Is that your final answer?
Please, Noe.
For the safety of the future, end transmission.
You only get one chance. This is real. Please. I hope I can see you on the other side.